Hey everybody. Oh, I just already saw a thumbs up. I'm Joey, if we haven't met before, and I'm here today with three really fun folds. They're fun folds, but anybody can make them. So even if you're a beginner, you'll be great at making these, and I'm going to just lead you through it step by step. So okay, three are watching. Thank you for the thumbs up. When you jump on, make sure and let me know whether you're watching live or you're watching replay. I'd also love to know where you're from, or if you're watching for the first time or you watch often. Any of those comments would be fabulous, and we can get started on our projects as we get going. I am going to bring up the comments just so I see. Oh, Julie's here. Oh, awesome, Julie. So I know I'm live and she's watching from YouTube, I can tell. And so I always like to know where you're watching from as well, because I still get concerned about Facebook. It's so glitchy with live video. And if you're watching on YouTube, just a short comment is that all the links and all the products and everything I'm showing you today is in the YouTube description. It's not on the Facebook description. So after the live video, I'll be happy to add all the links into the comments on Facebook, but they're not going to be there right now. But if you're watching replay on Facebook, they might be there already. Oh, again, thumbs up. Hi. Hi, Grace from Vista Del Mar, California. Oh, I bet that's a beautiful area. Charlene, welcome from Florida. So awesome. People are finding me. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump right down to my workspace here, click a little button. Again, thanks for the thumbs up and hearts. That's really helpful. Before we get into the projects, I just didn't want to forget to tell you that it's bonus days with Stampin' Up! Right now. So for every $50 purchase you make with Stampin' Up!, you can earn a $5 coupon to spend next month. So it's a really good way to build up your collection or add that extra bundle to your order that you might have been putting off because it's expensive. And then also, if you spend $75 or more, this is the free stamps. Well, you have the okay. Let's try to say more words here, Joey. Sorry. You can add the product of the month. It's called, and it's the Fabulous Saying Stamp Set. So there's lots of wonderful sayings that you can mix and match. And I like the fonts. I always like scripty fonts paired with just not scripty fonts, for lack of a better description. But this is available. You can add it for $5 if your order is $75 or more. And I have some special things that I'm going to let you know about this month. I'm a part of a tutorial group that we're going to do a whole I think there are 12 of us. We're going to do video tutorials with the product of the month. All right, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and let me show you what we're working with today. So we're working with lovely and beautiful suite of products. It's in your mini catalog if you have one. If you don't have one, make sure and let me know if you'd like to have one, if you don't have a demonstrator. But it's a mega suite, which means there are two bundles that come with it. We're going to look at both of them today. And then I'll show you some sneak peeks of my friend Allie Gomez and I are doing a craft along with these products, and it's so pretty, but I'll tell you more about that later. But these are the bundles. This is on the catalog. It's on pages 23 through 25. Is there more? Oh, it goes on through 27. It's also showing you that here that this is a great stamp set also for scrapbook pages. I think this would be maybe a 6x6 page possibly, and then obviously a 12x12 page. And then this beautiful card, I kind of copied this sort of today, not exactly, but I haven't, I took my inspiration from that. Alrighty, so up close and personal, these are the dies. This comes with the beautifully celebrated stamp set. So these are the stamps with this bundle, and then these are gosh, Joey, words today, dies. And then the stamp set, these are the stamp sets. These are the stamps, I should say. Oops, I've got too many piles here. And then these are the dies that coordinate with this. So this is called Simply Beautiful. Lots of really decorative dies, and we're going to look at some of them today. Not all of them, but Allie and I used all of them in our craft along, in case you're thinking about that or might be interested in that. Alrighty, we are going to get going. I did do quite a bit of the die cutting ahead of time today just because it takes time, and these are very well fun fold cards. Alrighty, we're going to start with a piece of basic white thick. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and you score it at, oops, you can't see that on the video, can you? So it's 2 1/8, and then turn it this way, and then do 2 1/8 again. That's not very helpful. I can see that it isn't. Oh, well, you get the idea, but those are the score lines. Only because these inches go this way, so that doesn't help you. Here, let me see if I can move my phone a bit to show the bottom of the page better, because I almost always refer to the ruler down here. So here you can see 2 1/8, and then just turn it on the other side and 2 1/8. Alrighty, so there we go. This is called a Gatefold latch card, and if you've been following me at all, or if you've been stamping for a while, you have seen a Gatefold card probably many times. But today we're going to do it with a special feature. We're going to have a latch. Let me show you this card. So this is the finished card, and then this little flower down here, you could use anything down here, but today we're going to use another flower, holds the card closed. So I kind of like that, and it's something I haven't done for a while, and I thought this would be a good time to give it a try. Now the paper out of this suite is called Lovely and Beautiful Specialty Paper. Mine is kind of a hot mess because I've been making a lot of cards with it. I've got my cards done for Allie's and my craft along, and then for today, and I've just been playing with a lot. But so every sheet has some kind of gold, what do I want to say, gold detail on it. This one, and a lot of the patterns are really big like this, which would be perfect for a scrapbook page, but I've used them for my cards as well. So I've used them on both cards, but they could be used on scrapbook pages. Here's another one. This is one of my favorite ones. And you've got not Blushing Bride. Wow, that color hasn't been with us for a long time, but Petal Pink and Calypso Coral, Old Olive. And they also put in some Darling Duckling. Here's the green one. You saw that purple one already. We're using this one on this card today. But this is this side, and then this side is just gold and white. There are some wedding greetings. We are going to make a wedding card today. We've seen that. Have we seen this one? Not sure we've seen this one. This is a gorgeous print. I don't think you can really see how beautiful it really is over the camera, and then it has fresh freesias also in that one, and the rest I think you've seen. Okay, that's all the prints. I think it does help to see them on video, even though my cards are kind of my paper is kind of a hot mess. Now on my sample card, I turned this one over like this, and I think you could do it that way. We are going to, especially if you're going to make a wedding card, but I'm going to do Thinking of You. So after I took my photo, I thought, I don't know, maybe I'll like it better with flowers up, this pattern up on both sides. So we're going to do that today. Then you can tell me at the end which one you like better. This is just my stamp and seal. You know, probably since this card is movable, on the front, you might want to use your liquid glue with this. This piece is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Let me check. I think it's 5 1/4. Yeah, 5 1/4. Yep. Okay. So 1 7/8 by 5 1/4, and you need 2 of those. So you're just going to tape those down, adhere those down to the front of your card. I think it's pretty already. I just think this paper is really pretty, and I love the white background. If you know me, you know I love white. Okay, so now we're going to stamp the flower and the leaves, and I'll show you a technique I did. So if you're not a big colorer, you might be looking at this set and thinking, oh my gosh, I have to color everything on there, but you really don't. And I'll show you what I did. You definitely can if you love to color. I go in and out with coloring. Sometimes I want to do it, and other times I go, no, I just want to, I don't want to take that much time. So this is one way you can add color to your outline images. Outline images, yeah, maybe, without having to actually really color. I'm using smoky slate with this flower today, this gorgeous big flower. Actually, when I stamped this just in the smoky slate, it's really beautiful. I know it doesn't, video doesn't really do it justice. I don't know why. To me, I just stamped it in smoky slate and I went, oh, that's just really, really pretty. I've been stamping this with green, so I just want to make sure there's no green going into my smoky slate ink pad that's left on my stamp. So we're just going to do this guy. So there's this double leaf in this set, and then there's a single leaf as well. And again, I'm going to just double check that there's no old olive on this stamp set because I've been using it with a lot of different colors. So you're just going to stamp those. And honestly, I do think you could really make a beautiful card with just the smoky slate. I don't know what it is about it, but I thought it was just really pretty with smoky slate, these particular stamps. Okay, now let me show you what I did to add some color. So I used some small blending brushes. These come in packs of 3. They don't have color on them. They come without any color. But I've used them with peach, these two with peach pie. And I also used soft sea foam, so 2 very soft colors. I'll show you how I did this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out a piece of scrap paper. And I'm going, because I'm going to blot off my brush a little bit on scrap paper. So here I am just going to put a little bit of ink on this. Now this ink pad has a lot of ink, so the color is pretty strong. So I always want to kind of buff it off first and then go to the center of my flower. That's where the color is going to show up the most. So I want the darkest part there. And then I'm just kind of expanding it a bit. And I'm going to brush into the petals just a little bit, like so. Going like so. And it's pretty just like that. I might just put just a touch more on. It really wouldn't need it, but I'm going to put a little bit more. I forgot to stamp the little flower, but the process is the same. So just always start in the middle. That's where your most intensive color is going to be. And then I'm just slightly, without re-inking it, I'm brushing into the petals. Because I do want it fairly soft. And that's fine. That's good enough. I like that. Probably didn't need that second application of ink, but we're going to go with it. Then smoky slate is our softest green. So this is not going to show up as well on camera, but not smoky. What did I say? Soft sea foam. Smoky slate is the gray, obviously. Soft sea foam. Okay, this is not going to show up very well, but soft sea foam and smoky slate are really, really pretty together. The softness of the gray and the really soft green together, it's really, really pretty. So this is how I did this. So I stamped everything first and I applied ink with the blending brushes. Now I've already done that and I've die cut the image already just to save some time, but I wanted to show you how to do it. Now I've got that ready for another card. Okay, so I've done that. So I'm going to pull those out that are done already. I also die cut the stamen out of gold foil, so I thought that was pretty on this card. Now, what we're going to do first is I'm going to take my double leaf, and for this, looks like I'm running out of mini glue dots. I have a lot of refills, so I'm not worried about it, but just letting you know, I might have to switch as we go on. And I don't know why they love to attach to my nail polish. They just, like, if I get my nail polish anywhere near a mini glue dot, it just sticks on. Okay, so I'm going to, here's my flower upright, and I'm going to just put this a little bit to the top left. Now I'm not going to really stick this down really well because, well, here already, I want the flower to be pretty straight up, so I'm just going to kind of dry fit this, even though we do already have a glued on it. Okay, I like that. Then these two are going to go on the other side of the front, but let's get the stamen on this one with a mini glue dot as well. Let me grab this one. This is pretty big, so I usually have been using two. There's kind of two larger places in the die cut where you can get a mini glue dot. So I kind of like my flowers in bits like this to stick up and have dimension, but if you like yours stuck down, then I would use an adhesive sheet, a self-adhesive sheet. So this goes like this. This is a very simple card. Anyone can make this. You don't have to be an experienced stamper to do this. It's very, very easy. You do need a die cutting machine. Gosh, I didn't die cut this very well, did I? Well, we're going to go with it. Just for video. Looks like my die moved. And I usually do use, gosh, I can't find words today, Post-it tape, but it moved a little bit. You can see that's not the best, but for the sake of video and not taking up a whole bunch of extra time, I'll probably redo that later, but we're not doing it for now. So now I want this flower to only be on this part of the card, on the left part. So I'm going to put this down like that. That's how I'm turning it over so that I'm sure that I'm not putting dimensionals in the wrong part of the side of the rose, so that's going to close my card and keep it shut. So I don't know why I'm feeling kind of anxious today. I don't know why. I think I didn't do video last week, and I know some of you were so sweet and said, hey, I'm not seeing you this week, and I should have probably let everybody know I was working on some of my systems to automate more of my business so that they don't take as much time. I can spend more time designing cards and creating classes and events. So that's where I was last week. And I did get a lot done. Of course, never get it done as much as you really want to do. I'm going to put this a little bit towards the top, not really centered, because I want room for this little guy down here. There we go. Just want to double check that. So let's put this guy. We want this to just barely overlap here. So again, I'm going to turn this over. I probably could have put my big flower up just a touch more. Now I'm not going to put any right on the edge here because I don't want to glue. I want my flower to open easily. I want the two to come apart really easily. So I'm just going to put quite a few mini or dimensionals down here because this is obviously the part that's going to have friction against it when it opens. So here, I guess I'm out of the camera. Let me get right here. I want this just to only be on the very edge of that flower so that it opens really easily like that. Make sense? And then we just need some greetings, so we'll do that next. I do think it's just it's a simple card, but really, really pretty. Let's go ahead and stamp the outside greeting. Let's go back to our smoky slate. And this is going to say, thinking of you, which is perfect for any occasion. If someone's going through a hard time, or you just are fondly thinking of somebody, family or friends, this is perfect. It could even be a birthday card. So it's pretty versatile, this greeting. On the inside, let's just leave this open and let's do the inside before we get any farther on that. So I got to remember what I put. Holding you in my heart. So let's get that, which is such a pretty saying. Let me find it here. Here we go. Okay. And again, I am going to double clean these. I just want to be really, really sure because I've been going back and forth between Calypso Coral, Old Olive, Petal Pink, and Smoky Slate. So I just want to make sure I don't have any ink left on my stamp. Because I've done that actually even quite recently. I had a dark color on a stamp and I had forgotten to clean it. And then I stamped into, I think it was my yellow, one of my yellow ink pads, which is not good. Holding you in my heart. I'm trying to line the top of this up with the top of my card. There you go. I know it doesn't show up really good since it's soft slate. It's such a soft color, but it's really, really pretty. So now let's go ahead and close this again, like so. And then we're going to just fussy cut this greeting. Fussy cut just means cut out with scissors. It's just a crafting term. And to do that, I'm just going to follow the words around with just a little bit of white border around all the letters. And that way, if I cut too close, it doesn't really show. If you don't try to leave a white border, you can sometimes cut into your words or your image, and that's not good. Okay, I'm going to cut this away so I can cut a straight line here. Go over the O. Can you see me? I'm kind of wiggling. I know it's hard to watch this because you move your paper instead of your scissors. So there we have Thinking of You. Let's go ahead and put some mini dimensionals on here. And then this card is done. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing how you can get the PDF for all of the projects I'm showing you today. I'll have it available both for sale or to get free with a purchase. So I'll talk more about that later, but let's go ahead and get this down here. Maybe we need one more over here because since it's so thin, it's just a little bit, it's a little bit easier to get it bent. So let's just make sure it's going to stick really well. Now I'm just going to go right across here, a little bit lower than the center, so we see all that. And there we have our beautiful card. That's very easy. It's called a Gatefold Tuck Latch. Let's try that again. Gatefold Latch card. We are going to do one called a tuck, but this one is called a latch card because this is your latch. Let's put some gems on this. So for this, I'm using the pearlized, what are they called? Pearlized circles. Pearlized faceted circles. If you're interested in those, they're part of this whole suite. So let's get some of these on here. I think I used the wider one. So there's like petal pink, calypso coral, and white, I think. I don't know. It looks white, so we're just going to call it white. It's the lightest one of the three colors, and there's two sizes of each color. And now if you're making comments, I am going to come back and say hello and listen to your comments, and if you have any questions, maybe I'll do that quick right now while you're looking at this card. So which one do you like better? Do you like the one with the gold foil on one side? It's a little snazzier. Or do you like the one that's a little more calm with the flowers on both sides? So put it in the comments, and I'm going to check right now and see who's joining, who's watching. Grace, I try to use the DSP with the shimmer side up tip To me, not using that side is a waste of such beautiful paper. Grace, I totally get it. It's so hard sometimes to decide what side you're going to put up. But the good news is, if it's a current paper, you can purchase more. Hi, Kathy Sanford. Oh, Julie likes the soft colors. Um, Stampin' Up and the DSP is so hard. Both sides are beautiful. I know, Grace. I get that. I'm so happy you like the card. And I think, okay, I think that. So I'm not seeing you let me know which. Julie likes number 2, so she likes this one. I probably could have guessed that, Julie, from you, just kind of knowing your preferences and your style. Um, this one's really pretty too. I think the gold makes it, for me, since I know there's wedding greetings in here, makes me think this should be a wedding card, but it's not. Kathy, I like the one with the gold side. I like shiny things. Oh, Kathy, you know you're my girl. I like Kathy, or shiny things too. You know that. And I think they both look great. Well, thank you, Noi. I'm not sure if that's your name. So the smaller flower becomes the latch. Like, yes, the smaller flower becomes the latch. So see how this won't open until you actually pull it open? And then, and this would be easy to mail. Now, if you don't want to mail it with gems on it, you could put something more flat. But yes, the latch part is whatever you have down here. It can be anything. It obviously doesn't have to be a flower. But yes, that's exactly right. Whatever's down here. It could be a circle with with a greeting on it. You could have something here as your main part, and you could have a greeting there. So yeah, Charlene, that's what happens. The flower on this one becomes the latch, the smaller one. Okay, let's keep going here. Now, I said earlier that you could get all the PDF for all these cards this week. I have it available to purchase in my Beacon store. There is a link in YouTube already for that in my PDF store. You can purchase it for, I think I have $15 on this, or you can get it free. It has photos, close-up photos of all the cards. It has the dimensions, it has the instructions, and it has the list of supplies. So, and it also has the video link, so that there's a video link right here. You can get this free with a $50 order. If you put in a $75 order, you're going to get also the card kits. Now that's in my online store. So you'll get the kit for all these cards, and you can make them yourself. It would be good to have the bundles I have, but if you don't have those, you can always substitute with something you already have. All right, this is a little bit more over the top. Well, quite a bit more over the top. So this is the wedding one that I was talking about, and this from the top looks like this. What I scribble my measurements on the back of a sticky note for my cards before I've gotten the tutorial written. So this is it. So we're going to make this, and I'm going to walk you through this with a lot of detail because I want to make sure that you can know how to do this. For this one, I'm going to use my scoring tool. So this is called Simply Scored, if you're not familiar with it. And it's so great for scoring both your cards. I use it a lot for 3D as well. You can see, I'm going to have to, let me adjust my camera just a bit. There we go. Now, this is 5.5 by 8.5 like we normally do. And then this is scored at, there's a scoring tool that has a thin end, and then this is the thinner end, and then this is the wider tip. I'm going to use the thinner one for this one. And I'm going to score at 1/2. I'm going to hold it with my left hand while I score with my right hand. 1 3/4, 3, and 4 1/4. And the reason I would like to score with this scoring board a little bit better than my paper trimmer. You definitely can score it with your paper trimmer. My particular paper trimmer doesn't score it as deeply as my scoring tool, my scoring board, so that's why I like to use this. Now, it's really important on this card especially. All Funfold cards, though, need to have the scores really well burnished. because paper does not like to bend. It likes to be straight. So we've got this. This is going to fold under. We're going to tape this down to make this shape right here. Oh, I'm already seeing thumbs up on this one. So some of you like fancy folds because this one is definitely fancy. So before we do that, we're going to put on the designer series paper. So, oh, and before we do that, we're going to cut it. I forgot that I was going to cut this with you so you could see how I cut it. To make my paper flow across the cards. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I took a piece. This piece is, I need to measure this. I know it's 6 inches wide. Whoops, this is 6 inches. Nope, that's wrong. I don't know if this is right, you guys. But, oh, it is. Yeah. Okay, so 5. I think I cut this wrong, kids. I think this is supposed to be 6. Let's give it a try. But if it's not right, hang on. I want to make sure because I don't want to show it wrong on the video and then it's confusing. So I need to pull up. Yeah, it's supposed to be 6. So I'm going to actually recut this paper. Hang on. I'm going to get it out, find it. This one, I might have just picked up the wrong one. I think this one is 6. No, that's 7. Okay, that's fine. We're going to cut it to 6. So here we go. If you have our paper trimmer, the Stampin' Up paper trimmer, right where this, your tool, your bar that pulls out is the 6-inch mark. So you can line that up and know it's going to be straight. Okay, so we're going to cut that at 6. All right, now we're going to need our paper trim. Oh, we still need it. What am I doing? So we've got it at 6. Now we're going to cut this at 5. And let me look at my PDF. I just don't want to do this wrong. And my brain doesn't always remember numbers. So let's find this out. Let's look here. So we want this to be, we're going to cut 3 of these. So I'm going to start, this is a 6, no, this is a 6-inch one. So we're going, gosh, sorry, I'm talking to myself here. Let's go 1 1/8. Well, before I cut that, we should just cut this at 5 3/8 this way. Let me double check this and make sure I have that here. Whoops. 6 by 5 3/8. Well, we need to cut a bigger piece. Hang on, sorry. I thought I had this all cut the right dimensions, and I cut that one piece at 5, and it should have been 4. Let me grab a different paper. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. This is the one I want. Let's make sure this is 6 inches. This paper, talking about paper that's hard to cut into, it's hard to cut into. All right, we're going to go 5 3/8 this way. So here's 1/4 and here's 1 more 1/8. Okay, 5 3/8 that way. Then we're going to go 6 this way. Probably should have just cut this ahead of time, but I wanted to show you, and that's what we're going to get to in a minute. Okay, so this is a 6-inch side. So, and this is the just 5 3/8. Okay, so now we're going to start that over. We're going to go to 1. So again, this is the 6-inch side. So we're going to 1 1/8, like so. Now I'm going to keep these in order because I want the pattern to flow across the fold line. So and here's 1 1/8 again. I'm going straight across. That's why I cut this big piece first. Nope, that moved. It moved. I don't want it to be crooked, so 1 1/8. Right, and then the next one, just going straight across, and keep moving my paper so that the pattern flows together when everything is folded up. Okay, now this one should be the right size for the inside, but it looks like it isn't. After all that, let's try it. Maybe it is. It is. Oh, yay. Okay, now this one we have to shorten, but these three are going to be 5 and I think these are all the ones that are 5 3/8, and that should be the right. That should be right, but let's see. Since I got off this morning, yeah, I think this needs to be. I think it needs to be 5 1/4. Hang on. Sorry. We'll get it. Where's my tutorial? Well, now I've lost my whole tutorial because I got flustered. I think these are too long. Maybe just a touch. So let's try it. Yeah, they're just a touch, 5 3/8. So let's go 5 1/4 on these. I'll double check my tutorial and make sure I put 5 1/4. Okay, so now we're going to go like that. And I think this will work further. Hold on just a minute. Honey, can you shut the door, please? Oh, my husband's home from work today, and it seems like it's every Wednesday. And he forgets I'm on live video. So, there's that. All right, friends. Now, we did this so that these would flow together, and now they're all mixed up. So let's see how they're supposed to go. This leaf probably goes with this. Nope. Well, after all that, I just don't even know which way they go. Let's try. Where's these purple flowers? All right, let's just do this. Let's figure this out. This flower goes here, this flower goes here, and this flower goes here. There we go. Now, that's the whole reason I went through that whole charade with getting the pieces cut so that the paper would flow together. So now, I've got my card folded like normal. Oh gosh, I turned away from my video, so I have to bring my video back up. Hang on so I can see it. Okay, here we go. Let's go this one first. Let's go like this. Okay. And if my husband is working from home, my computer will pick up, since my sound is coming from my computer will pick up his, whatever he's doing. You know what, you guys? This should have been 3/8. This is too short, or I guess it'd be okay. Maybe let's finish. Let's see what the card finished, what we think about it. If we think it should be just a touch longer. There's the obsessive compulsive perfectionist coming out. Oh my goodness. All right, now I've got that. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Let's do the inside of the card. This one is 2 3/8. This is the little note card that goes on the inside. By 10 1/2, and I scored it at 5 1/4. And we've got all our bits that I already die cut for us. So that, good thing, since I had to keep measuring my paper. Alrighty, so now let's go step by step. Let's do the inside of this card. While this paper is drying, let me actually just put a stamp on this and just make sure it's getting dry. Let's put the inside. This is the inside is Wedding Wishes. Now this is a very long stamp, so, and I know I've got an etched block, so it's going to be hard to see, but this is the Wedding Wishes. And I want it to fit here though, so I'm going to show you how to do that. It's really easy to do it. So I want to make sure again my stamp is really, really clean. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Too much stuff here. Make sure it's really clean. And then I'm just going to ink up the wedding. So I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see in the camera. Just the wedding part. Trying not to get the wishes in there. Make sense? Okay, so we're going to do this right here. I'm going to square up my paper and let's go wedding. Now, it's really important now to clean your stamp really, really, really well. And then we'll come back and then we'll do wishes. Thank you for your patience when I was redoing the cutting. Okay, now I'm just doing wish. Whoops, I've got the G in there which we don't want. And if you want to make sure, you can stamp off on your scrap paper as well. Now we want wishes. So I've got 2 stamps on this block plus the etching. There we go. And that's how you can make your stamps fit. If they're too long, too wide, you can work it out so that you can put them on a more narrow space using that method of only inking part of the word. And this one actually is pretty easy to do that with. Alrighty, we've got that. Now our last piece of DSP, which is lost in all of this mess, is going to go here. And this one does have to be cut again. All this is in the PDF. I'm pretty sure my PDF did say 3/8 here, but then I went ahead and thought it was too long, so I went to a 1/4, but I think it should be just a touch longer. Then this one does have to be smaller because we want to mount it on this piece of white. So this one is 5 inches, if I did that right. Let's try it here. Let's get the paper trimmer out. Now, if you have a DSP that doesn't have a pattern, then this is all not important. I'm going to cut this. Let's see. This is going to go like, was it like this or like this? That doesn't even look like it. Did I do it backwards? Oh, well. Never mind. So we're going to cut this at 5/5. There's more gold down here, and since the pattern's not matching anyway, 5 inches. Okay, there we go. We want more gold. We always want the shiny, don't we, Kathy? Didn't you say you like the shiny things? Me too. Yep, that's perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on the front of this one. Like so. Now, for our craft along, we have both. They're all fancy folds. We're calling them fancy folds because some of them are very fancy like this. Now some are more simple, like the first one I showed you. They're not, and none of them are hard. It's just that, there's more steps. When you have fun folds, it's just not like making your regular card. All right, let's go ahead and get this glued. Probably should have had this done sooner. We are going to use liquid glue for this tab. So that first 1/2 inch tab, we're going to put our glue there. And I'm not checking your comments, so I will though. I'll come back through. All right, so I'm just going to bend this over like this. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'm just going to go close it like this. Yeah. For a minute I thought, wait, that looks too narrow, but I forgot that this is going to open. Whoops. This happened on my other card. For whatever reason, it did not want to seal here. So what we'll do is we'll put, I've got glue here. What we'll do is we'll put our flower and our main piece together while this is drying, because it just didn't want to seal even with liquid glue. So let's leave that. Let's move the glass block over on this one. Set that aside. Now let's do our main flower. So I have done all the die cutting. Here is that one label die from the Beautifully Celebrated dies that I showed you that are all nested. And then let's put our flower together. Let's grab all the bits here. Let's see, these two we won't need for a moment. But let's put the flower together. So the flower, the larger flower I did in Flirty Flamingo, and then this one I just nested on top of this to make a hydrangea like that. So let me put a mini glue dot here. All right, so let me know in the comments who likes fancy fun folds and who likes simpler fun folds. I'd love to know. Okay, so that makes it look like that. And I guess the two colors don't really show up very well, but there are two. It looks nice in person. You can see the Flirty Flamingo contrasting against the Calypso Coral. But you can make your flowers any color. I even did a white one for one of the cards in our craft along. So let's. Now the craft along is live video. So we make the cards for everybody can watch. So put it on your calendar. It's February 4th through 6th. Everyone can watch. If you want to craft along with us and then have the video to go along with you, you can buy the kit. The registration link is in the, wait a minute, I don't want that there for now. The registration link is in the video description, and I'll have it in the Facebook comments a little bit later. Wait a minute, how did I do this? Yep, that's how I did it. All right, so there's that one. And then there's a smaller leaf. There should be. I dumped everything out. Oh, you know what? I did see it earlier. It popped out of the envelope. And then I just put a mini glue dot on the, well, sometimes it does that. I don't get it. Just doesn't want to come off sometimes. On the front side, where the stamp side, and then I'm just going to kind of put this. I do want it to show, but I don't want it to stick out too far. Let's see how we're doing here. Yeah, that's good. Nah, this one, I don't like the way that's going. But I think once we get our dimensionals, it'll be better. I wanted it to come right out of that flower petal, but it's okay. We'll just go with that. Alrighty, let's do our dimensionals. Now, we're just going to stick the flower to the label. So we don't have to be too careful about where these dimensionals go. When we stick the whole thing, the label with the flower on it, to the card, then we have to be pretty careful about where we are putting our dimensionals. Okay, I think that's good. Now, for one of my cards for the craft along, I went ahead and did the flower die. The big flower. This flower, there's a die for this one. I did that in petal pink underneath all this before I put it on a white mat. I'll show those to you before the end of the video. I'll show you my projects for our craft along so you can get a little bit of a sneak peek. All right, we're just going to line this up on here. Might be getting my head in the camera. Sorry if I am. Kind of like so. There we go. Doesn't that make a pretty flower? These dies just make such pretty good flowers. And they're easy because you can run them all through at the same time, and that makes it really nice, and it makes it pretty fast. All right, now I think this is dry. I hope it's dry. Let's see. Let's do this part first, and let's do the flower last. So we've got our inside greeting. All we have to do for this one is put it on our card base. Again, thanks for your patience through figuring out the DSP. I was trying to show you how to line it up so that your patterns follow each other through that, but you know, who's going to pay any attention to that? You and I might be the only ones. Even we probably would not do that. I probably should have just skipped that. And, okay, so this is going to go like this, and then we got that white border. Isn't that cute already? It's really cute. I think it's really cute. I hope you like it. And I don't know if all of you watching would be making this detail of a card, but you can make it. Again, that's what it looks like from the top, and then here's our note card on the inside. Now this panel, this middle one, is the one that's going to be the actual front of the card. So we want this to go here. Deep breath. I also have some freebies this week for you. I have a free PDF for you. It's kind of a Valentine-ish gift note. Okay, let me try that again. It's a gift idea. I want this to be stuck down pretty well through here, so I'm putting quite a few dimensionals. It's a post-it holder that you could use for any occasion. I use the Be Happy, is that it? Stamp set. I have I have one that's free. That's on my beacon site. Again, that is linked in the YouTube description. So if you're watching YouTube, you can go right in and get that link. Okay, I'm going to put this, trying to mostly center it here. Just hope that I didn't get any dimensionals where we don't want them. No, we're good. We're good, 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 good. Awesome. So there's our flower. And then we do want a greeting here because this is the first part they're going to open, and there's no greeting on the front of this. So, or the very front. Little piece of something sticky. Alrighty. Now, this is to the happy couple. So let's grab Calypso Coral for this. A lot of times I do run out of wedding cards in the spring, so I'm happy to have starting a little pile of wedding cards to have on hand. And if you need a set that you know is wedding, you can just pull it out. I'm going to stamp this a little bit to the left because I don't want it to show under my first fold. I'm not going to put it really obviously out of center, but no one's going to notice that but you and me. And then we're going to put it flat here. I don't want any dimensionals here. Just going to go ahead and use my tape runner for that. Now, this will show just a little bit. It's going to stick out here just a touch. But I'm not going to put it all the way to the left. I kind of want the DSP to show right there as well. And then it is going to stick out, but I was okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then you want to use something smaller there so it doesn't show. But I kind of liked it the way it is. So isn't that cute? And you can put a gift card in here easily. Slip a gift card in. And then we're not done. We've got two more cute things to put on here. So these little things are just little detailed corner dies. They're both in one die. So you go through the machine once and you've got both of them cut. Let's get out some of those little bits. Okay, there we go. And now this, I'm going to be pretty careful where I put the glue here. These are very fancy, so they're just an added. You could, if you could put gold, I'm just going to stick this up in the corner here. You could put a gold statement on and make these gold, and that would be really fancy for a wedding. So I'm not wanting to stick. do that. Okay, that would be pretty. You know, we've had gold foil in our store for a long time. It's pretty timeless. We've had various variations of gold foil, but we've always had a gold foil. And a lot of our papers have the gold. It seems recently a lot of our designer series paper that's had gold. Put that there. Let's grab some gems. And for this one, I think I used the darker Calypso Coral gems. Yeah, I think I did. That should be good. Okay. All right. Time for gems. And then this fancy fold is done. This is the fanciest of the three we're doing today. So if you're like, wow, that's just a lot of steps. It isn't really. I think I made it look harder when I was trying to make it look easier when I cut my paper. Aside from the paper cutting, it's not hard to do. Okay, let's stick these on here. And in your kits, I'll give you all the parts for this. I'll also give you some gems. I'll have the DSP. I'll just cut your DSP for you, probably. I'll see how that goes. But there we go. There's card number 2. So I'm happy to have 2 wedding cards ready to go. So what do you think of this one? I haven't checked my comments. I'm going to do that now and see how many are saying, yes, I would make a card like that. And some of you are saying, no, I just don't really want to. Georgia. Hi, Georgia. I like the photo corners. I use them quite a bit. Usually always cut them in foil or glitter. Yes, we're thinking the same, Georgia, although it's not how I made my card. Hi, Julie. I like the corners too. I just think, now that is so easy to just die cut those and add those. Grace, I love them all. Complicated folds is for someone who really appreciates your time and will actually take care of the card. Oh, yes. Let me pull you up. So true. So she said, fancy folds are for the people that you know will open it and they'll go, ooh, and ah, and say, oh, how beautiful this is. You made this. That's what you want for your fancy fold. So those only go to special people. Yes, that's true. All right, here we go. Let's do our last one. And then I've got another little perk for you. This is what I was starting to say earlier, but it was kind of confusing. So this is a free PDF I have on my Beacon store. I sent this out to my newsletter subscribers today. If you're on my newsletter, you got this for free today. I'll also resend it on Sunday. I'll add it to that email, my Sunday email as well. So if you didn't get it, it's a Post-it noter. I tried to dig it out and I couldn't find it. I'm sure I gave it away. So, So all the directions, photos, the dimensions, that's free this week. Then if you want to get my 4 projects with that and then 3 other ones that are cards and gifts, there's a fancy fold one with hearts that pop up. All these products are, the stamps and punch is still available. The paper has discontinued. And then here's our cute little diaper fold for Valentine's Day. I didn't get out anything for Valentine's Day last week, so I'm sending, this is available with a $35 order. I'll just send it to you for free. So don't buy it in my online store if you put in an order for just $35 and I'll send it to you. This one, okay, what else I was going to say? Or you can purchase it for $10 in my Beacon store. If you're like, no, I don't want to put an order, I just want to get the PDF, you can purchase it for $10, and that is linked in my YouTube. Then Allie's and my craft along. Let me give you a quick preview of some of those cards. Now, I only have mine, sorry for my arm in the camera, I only have mine made, but I have Allie's. I have the PDF for hers, and I know it's going to be hard to see, but again, most of these they're not hard. But they're a little bit more involved. So we're going to do 8 cards for our craft along, And we're going to have 10 cards in our PDF. So in the PDF, you get a plus 2 cards. So these are mine. Very quick. This is a fun fold that I haven't actually made before. So, and you know me, mine are usually not really hard. This one, quick. This one is probably my fanciest one. This one has a latch on it, and then it has that note card idea as well on the front of this one. So that's one of mine. And the last one of mine is this one. So those are my 5. If you're interested, again, the link is in the comments on Facebook. Okay, not the comments. It's in the video description. Alrighty, let's do our last card. You can always just message me as well too if you're interested and you want more details and you just want to ask me particular questions about it. And then the PDF will be available for those for $25. The PDF is not done yet. The PDF will go out when the kits are shipped. That's when we send it out to our customers. So it's not an automatic download right now. We might do that eventually, but right now we have it as we send it to you personally when you purchase it. All right, here we go. This is our last one for today. This one is 8 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. Yep, that's right. Then this DSP is 2 by, I know, girls, some of you that are watching, you're saying, you're covering up the gold part again. And I know I am. I just thought it worked better with the main image. So I'm sorry. Those of you that are like, I want to always see the gold side. And I get that. If you know me, you know I'm a bling person. But sometimes there's just too much. Again, this is painful to cover this up, but we're going to cover it up for this particular card because there's a lot going on this card with the front of it. So let me show you what we're going to do with this one. Grab my scrap paper again. And then, now, we have a piece, the measurements for this are super easy. So we've got 2 pieces of white that are 3 by 4. So now I did one in thick, but you could do it thin because we're going to do a little bit of a kind of watercoloring for this one. Let's put our card base out of the way and grab our Calypso Coral. Where is it? Here we go. Now, let me grab also my Wink of Stella. So I'm going to do a couple of options on this card, and I'll show you how to color your big, Joey, images with either Wink of Stella. Oops, there's a black thing there. Let's try that again. Wink of Stella or a water painter. So we're going to do a little bit of both of those today. I need to grab my sample so I can see it. This is the corner tuck card. So I'm going to show you how to do this one. All right, so that's what we're working on. Let's stamp the big flower kind of off in the corner here. And then let's do it a second time up here, and maybe just a little bit different angle. I'm just going to a little bit on the edge because we're going to put some other things in our little collage of background here. So we've got that. Now, I first yesterday started with my Wink of Stella. And Wink of Stella, this is a new one, although it looks like I need to get a little bit more ink going. I can see it coming down the barrel, so hopefully it's there. Nope. It's close. Oh, there it comes. Okay. Your Wink of Stella will move the ink a little bit, so it does add just a subtle bit of color. And I'm obviously going right over the ink in the image so that it picks it up. Now I know this is not going to really show on camera. You probably can't even really see it, and you definitely can't see the shimmer, but there is shimmer there. I'll pick up a little bit more since we're trying to make it show. Now, the other thing you can do, and I did do this on my card, this obviously takes more equipment, so to speak. I'm going to take my Clipsal Coral pad and I'm just squeezing it pretty hard to get some ink in the top. So then you get this. Now, we're going to do just a little bit of watercoloring. So these water pens, these come in a set of 3. I'm just going to squeeze it to get water out in the cup. And I want this to be really, really diluted. So I want it to be pretty watery. All right, then I'm going to actually just blot it off a little on my scrap paper, start in the center of my flower again, and I'm going to make kind of circular motions coming out from the center of my flower. Now, obviously, you don't have to do this. You don't even have to put any Wink of Stella on it, but I got this idea from the catalog. This Stampin' Up! Did something similar like this on a card that's in the mini catalog. This is not precise watercoloring. Anyone can do this. Obviously, it's not precise. I'm just going from the center again like I did with the blending brush. Now this one won't, oh, I probably should have done the Wink of Stella first on that one. I wanted to know what would happen if we did it over the Wink of Stella. And this is making it a little bit blendier. Blendier? That's a Joey term. And I like that better. But you could do either way. This is going to be a background, so we don't really need to have it be precise. But anyway, there's another way to color your flowers, and I think it's really, really pretty. You can't see the sparkle, which I'm kind of bummed about, but it's really, trust me, it's there. So if you use Wink of Stella, you will like this. You will like this card. That little technique. Alrighty, so there we go. Now we're going to take some stamps out of the beautifully celebrated set. One is this large, kind of a viney type set, for lack of a better description. We're going to use Old Olive ink. I just went with the colors that Stampin' Up! Had in the paper. I just think that always makes it better for you guys. And, well, it makes it easier to design too, because I don't give myself unlimited choices for color. Now we're just going to take a little bit of a stamp down here, and I don't want this to be too busy. It's going to be busy enough, then just a little touch of those little, it's kind of like baby's breath, but it's green obviously, and then maybe just a teeny bit. We have other things we're going to do here, so maybe up here in the corner. All right, so there we go. A lot of times with background stamping, less is more. So I tried it. You can always add, but then to take away, you can't really do it unless you start over, and we don't want to start over. Now there's a couple of other cute little stamps with these backgrounds. This is a little tiny flower, and I'm going to use this in Darling Duckling. Again, I took these colors. Oh no, I think Peach Pie. Yep. Wrong. No Darling Duckling. This is Peach Pie. At first, when I looked at the picture that Stampin' Up! Put in the catalog, I thought it was Darling Duckling, and then I changed my mind. That's why it's still out here. But let's do this little flower. I'm going to do this at the top here. Maybe right here. And then let's do a little bit down here. I like to do 3s, but we still have another stamp here, so let's do this one up here. That's Peach Pie. And then we're going to take our petal pink. Where are we? Petal pink. And this one, there's another texture stamp. It's like little tiny pluses, kind of pluses and dots. You see that? Okay, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to stamp it off because I just don't want this to be a really strong competitor for our flower, so you probably won't even be able to see it. You have to trust me. that it looks cute. You can see it a little bit, not much. Now, if you like a lot of bold colors, you might like to do it full strength, but I didn't want to really compete with my big flowers, so there it is, up close and personal. Then let's go ahead and we're going to mat that. Remember, this was 3 by 4. We're going to mat it on a piece of 3 1/8 or 3 1/4. I think mine's right between there, actually. So in my tutorial, I put 3 1/8 plus, and what plus is a 16th, and I do explain that in my tutorial, so you're not left to guess on your own what in the world does plus mean. But I'm just not going to put so many 16ths in a PDF tutorial. I'm not going to count 16ths, so that's why I put the plus, because I like it just a little bit bigger than 1/8 and just a little bit smaller than 1/4. So this is 3 1/8 plus by 4 1/8 plus. Let's get back to our card base here. Wherever it is, we put it out of the way. Put it way out of the way. Now this is going to go like this. So what I'm going to do first is this. I think for today's video, I'm just going to use a tape runner, but if I were making this card without video, I would definitely be using glue for this. I just don't have to take the time for it to dry. So I'm going to put that on. Then we're going to take some of the gold and white ribbon. This is part of the suite. How do I want this? Yeah, it's really pretty too. It's sparkly. Can you see the sparkle? Not really. That's one thing about video. It's kind of sad that you can't really see as much sparkle and when it's kind of subtle. But Wink Stella either. Let's tie this here like so. Thanks so much for joining me today. I love that you come and join me either live or replay. I do live video so that I can comment and you can ask questions and you can comment, and because crafting forms a community, don't you think? I have some of my closest friends are all crafters. Now, not all my friends are, but some of my closest friends are crafters. Alrighty, so there we've got that. Now we need the inside of this. So on the inside of my sample, I did the same thing with the flower. I'm not going to do that for this one just to save a little time, but we will put the greeting on the inside is that thinking of you that we used on the first card again. So we just need to find that one. Here we go. Now, again, I don't remember. I think I cleaned this, but sometimes on video I don't clean them, so let's just make sure. Get this. If there's any smoky slate, we don't want that in our Calypso Coral ink pad. So grab my Calypso Coral ink and we'll go thinking of you. Oh, maybe I will go ahead and do the flower just to have my card be complete. So for this though, I'm just going to ink it really quick. Just stamp down here in the lower corner just a little bit. There's our flower. Let's take a little bit. Let's just do Wink Stella on this guy. Oh, come on. Don't do what I do and squeeze right over your card, because if you get a blob, whoops, then it might not be the look you want. It might be. Maybe you just want a big, big, big spot of shimmer. Okay, so thanks for being patient while I finished up the inside of my card. Okay, so I like that. Let's go ahead with this guy. Now we want this to not show. So this is the same size as our front mat, only it is I don't know if my Wink of Stella is dry yet, so I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Pierce mat. Which those of you who have been following me, you know I lost my mat. Now I'm kind of holding this to make sure it's centered, but I think for the most part you're going to be very safe to just center it on the DSP here. Let's try it. Yep. So if you just center it here and you use the same dimensions I use, you're going to be good with that. And there's the inside. So there's that. Now we have a greeting for the outside, and then we have gems, and then we have, oh no, we didn't even do our main part of the card. We're supposed to do the tuck for this. So let's find the square. Oh my goodness. So I have, this is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and I have embossed it with something beautiful, more than beautiful. No, that's not it. I'll think of it. I used a different one. I used a So Swirly on this one, but I really didn't like it as well as I thought it would. So I'll show you how to make this. Now this is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and you're just going to put the corners in your cutting track. So, and I don't start at the top, because if you're trying to start your cutting blade at the top, sometimes, you know, we've embossed this, so we've made the paper weaker, and then it will, well, it's going to do it in the middle of our track too. So what's happening is it's bending up my corner, and I don't want that. So now I'm going to start my cut in the middle so it doesn't tear up my corners. There we go. And that's the perfect way to do your corners. There we go. Well, thank you for all the hearts and the thumbs up, you guys. I just glanced up and saw those coming in. That's very, very sweet. Okay, and it helps me know that you want to see what I'm offering, and it helps me be encouraged to keep designing and keep sharing what I really love. Now, we're not putting any adhesive on this triangle side. We're just putting it on the corner side. Does that make sense? And then we're going to glue it up here right in the corner. And we really want that to hold down, because that's where the card's going to tuck in. So now, does this card actually need it to tuck in? No, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of a nice surprise for your person. Now, I'm not going to tuck it in there yet because I'll probably loosen that, but let's do the greeting, and then we'll put it on our card, and then we'll put gems on, and then we've got this one done. All right, let's grab Calypso Coral, and on the front of this is Holding You in My Heart. I think it's this one, yeah. Okay, so Holding You in My Heart. This piece is 3/4 by like 3 1/2. Let's check it. Yep, exactly. 3/4 by 3 1/2 for this. Now this, I want a little bit of a room to angle the end with the scissors, and I also want a little room to tuck this in here without it covering up my greeting, like that. Does that make sense? And then the background actually becomes the star of the show on this card, which is why those of you that were gasping when I was covering up the gold part of my card, this is why, because I wanted this part to be the main focal image. Does that make sense? Now, if you want gold everywhere it's possible to have it and shiny stuff, you go, because I love that as well. So it is hard, very hard, to cut into that paper and use the part that isn't shiny gold on the front. But you do you, and if you make any of these cards, I'd love for you to tag me or email it to me. I'm going to tuck this just right here so it looks like it's coming out from the bow a bit, so it looks like a tag there. So there's that. I'm not going to touch this quite yet. Let's put our gems on it. And then we'll bring all the cards out. Now for this one, I think I did use like the middle. What did I use? There's kind of this this color. I don't know what it is. I want to say petal pink, but then I don't know what the wider one is. So whatever it is, the middle color of these. And these are really gorgeous gems. I think they show up pretty well. Now let's see. Maybe we'll just put all three down here for this card. Now, see how this works? So this goes in like this. And so does this one. We'll try it. It probably is stuck, but if you're doing this at home, I would wait longer on the glue there. So there we go. There's card number 3. This is called the Corner Tuck card. So there's the third one. Don't go away because you have to tell me which is your favorite. This is the pop-up, center pop-up card. Okay, there's that one. And then this is the Gatefold latch card. So let me know what's your favorite, the Gatefold latch, the pop-up card, or the corner tuck card. Are they all in the picture? Yeah, they're pretty good. But can you see these gems? They're just so, so pretty. All right, don't go away. I'm going to jump up on the comments and see. Oh, we went long. Gosh, we went long today. Darn, I was trying to not go so long. DSP sizes are all in the PDF. And I think I talked them through the video, Charlene. So if you aren't interested in purchasing the PDF or putting in an order, I think just go back through your video because I think for every card I did say what the measurements were for the PDF. Hi, Kathy Kirkner. Charlene likes to pop up. She likes them all. Hi, Alexina. And Alexina can't decide. Oh, Grace, with all the hearts. Thank you, sweet girl. That was so sweet. All righty. Now, again, you can get the full PDF for this card as a thank you for your $50 order. You can also get the kit with the cards and the PDF as a thank you for your $75 order. Plus, then you can qualify for the product of the month. Or you can just purchase the PDF outright for $15 in my Beacon store. Kathy likes number 3, and all are so beautiful. I thank you, Kathy. You just like all of them. You guys are so sweet. Kathy Sanford has a lot of hearts. Thank you, sweet girl. All righty, let me come up here. Thanks so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate your time. I did not mean to go over an hour. I knew with these pop-ups, I even had these fun folds, I even had everything cut and stamped. So thanks for your patience. But I really did want to show you all the steps. I didn't want to shorten up the video and not show you all the steps. So anyway, if you have any questions, you're welcome to message me or put a comment. I do always come back and check the comments. So even if you're watching replay, I'd love for you to comment and say hello. Let me know which card you like the best. Let me know that you're watching on the replay. All that. And thanks for being part of my community. One of the reasons I create is to share it. So I love doing it, but I also love sharing it because it's just more fun that way. So thanks for being here, friends, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye. Take care.